You want to make sure that you are very comfortable that that person will be able to continue to contribute and deliver without all of the support that they've had in a corporate environment. As we wrap up our last set of interview questions, I want to remind you how important it is to make the right decisions about who should be on your team, especially if you are an early stage entrepreneur. In those early days, the team that you put together will help to define your overall culture. And they also matter with respect to the contributions, because you need outsized contributions from every single person that you bring on your team if you are an early stage entrepreneur. So here goes. What are your two biggest strengths and the one thing that you know you need to work on? Now, this is a very traditional question that's been asked in interviews for decades. And it's basically what are your strengths and weaknesses questions. I just like to phrase it a little bit differently, but I like to be direct about it. This too is a great question because a great interviewee will make sure that they articulate strengths that are consistent with the key success factors of the role. If you are interviewing for a job at the New York Times as a writer, you want to say that your two biggest strengths are your communication skills and your ability to communicate orally as well as in written form, because that's what they're buying. If you're interviewing for an investment bank, you want to talk about your strengths as being quantitative and analytical skills or strategic skills. If you're in a project management role, you want to talk about your strengths as being organizational skills and your ability to manage and lead people, because you're going to be leading a number of people on specific projects. So your strengths need to be consistent with what the buyer is buying, and you need to have specific examples of the evidence that you're strong in those things. And when they say, what is the one thing you need to work on, that's code for what is your weakness. You want to make sure that your weakness is something that you are legitimately working on and something that is not core to the job. Again, if you're interviewing for the New York Times, you don't say that one of the things you're working on is your writing skills or your ability to meet deadlines or your ability to really listen, because all of those things will be important to your ability to interview someone, get the right information, and then communicate it in written form. You don't want to say to someone that in a project management interview that one of the things you're working on is prioritizing things or managing time or a timeline, because again, those are the key success factors for that particular role. So you can talk about things like my ability to speak in front of a lot of people. I'm really good if it's one-on-one. I'm really good if it's me in a room with 15 people, but I haven't had a lot of experience speaking in front of thousands of people. Or you might want to talk a little bit about your desire to be better at tennis or golf, or being very disciplined when you're thinking about individual sports and what that looks like and the dedication to getting really good at those particular sports. So those are some of the things that have absolutely nothing to do with the job. Now, you can't say I'm trying to really get good at playing golf and focusing on my practice and focusing on just one thing, and then you can't answer the question, what's your handicap? Or you can't answer the question, what's your favorite club? Or you can't answer the question, do you hit your irons or your woods better? If you can't answer those questions, now you're communicating to the listener that you don't know very much about golf and maybe you're not playing. So why did you use that as one of your weaknesses? So you want to make sure that you're telling the truth. But again, you don't want one of your weaknesses to be something that is going to be critical to your ability to be successful in that particular role. Now, you may think this is elementary, but again, I've interviewed lots of people and you'd be surprised what people come up with as their weakness. Another question, I have a panel of people to whom I present candidates. This is my favorite question at the end. What is the argument you want me to deliver as to why I should hire you for this role? Now, this is the question that I ask every candidate at the end of the interview. Why? It's your last chance to sell me. I just said I'm going to present the candidates that I've interviewed today in front of a panel of people. What argument do you want me to use to present your case? This is the time where you tell me why you are the best candidate and why I won't be sorry if I hire you. It's your last chance to sell. And if you don't have anything different to say, start with the answer that you gave at the beginning about why you are interested in this particular role and why you think you'd be great at that role. Last question I'm going to give you today is the following. If you are considering a candidate who has worked only in large corporations, you might want to ask these questions. What makes you believe you will be able to work in a startup? What do you believe are the fundamental differences between large corporations and startups? Have you ever worked without an administrative assistant? This is important because there are lots of very talented, experienced people that have worked in large corporations, but they have had support in those corporations with an executive assistant, a department that's working on graphics, lots of supplies around in the office. And when you are working in a startup, generally each person have 2 or 3 different jobs that they are responsible for, not just one. So if you are an entrepreneur and you are interviewing someone that has come from a large corporation, you want to make sure that you are very comfortable that that person will be able to continue to contribute and deliver without all of the support that they've had in a corporate environment. If they cannot, that is not the candidate for you. You want someone who is hungry and is flexible and who is willing to roll up their sleeves and do more than what you are hiring them specifically for. That's a great candidate for an early stage environment. Go get them.